Hello, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Crypto Events Announcements. My name is Vigen Arushanyan. I'm still your Crypto MC, and please help me welcome my today's VIP guest. He is Mr. Ralph Liu from Southern California, United States. He is the president and CEO of TurboChains and CEO and founder of MuleChain. He's an investment banker and venture investor in blockchain. And he will also be the distinguished guest of ChainPoint 19 conference hosted in October 14 and 15 in Yerevan, Armenia by the brilliant Vigen Arushanyan and his fantastic Armenian Blockchain Association Nooor team. Mr. Ralph Liu, thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Eugene. It's an honor to be here.
Could you please give us an intro and tell us briefly about yourself and what are you working on right now in the blockchain industry?
Okay, so as you said in the beginning, I'm an investment banker, but have a very strong passion for startups. So I either help other startups and to launch their business. I myself get involved in startups.
Well, why did you decide to share your ideas and very, very huge experience at the ChainPoint 19 conference in Yerevan?
Well, I've been there and I attended the previous conference. I was really impressed about what they have put together. And Vigen is just an unbelievable person, attention to detail. So I was quite impressed, and I'll be honored to attend it again.
So I totally agree with you. Vigen, we are very, very proud of you. You are our friend and you are professional. So, Mr. Ralph Liu, please tell us what topics and specific issues will you be covering in ChainPoint 19 conference in Yerevan?
Okay, I would like to share with the audience and about our own experience for getting involved in the blockchain business for the past 2 years. And I myself, as I mentioned to you earlier, and being an investment banker, but I have always, interest in the technology field. So when I first got back into this field, and I was working on one of the fractional share, the fractional share ownership platform. So that business, we literally started over 10, 15 years ago, and during that time, there wasn't any tokenization. And the way to accomplish the fractional share ownership is through securitization. As you can understand how cumbersome that could be, no trading liquidity. And most importantly, you don't have, like at the peak of 2017, 600 billion of cryptocurrency holders looking for some place for their investment. So that's why, and having spent so much time and money and launching the early ideas, when the tokenization concept first started and being, made possible by the blockchain technology, I was drawn back into the field again. And but initially, just based on where I left off before, that's it's called wecown.com, another venture. So once I got into it and also get involved in the cryptocurrency, and then this very interesting, actually, I met a person in a Christmas party. So the person is telling me, well, he bought some Ether today. So I was starting to explain to him, do you understand the technology behind it? That's called a blockchain. This is the second wave of internet. It's going to disrupt every single industry. So what do you do? And then this person telling me he's a mover. He's involved in the logistics business. So he's been doing that for 15 years, quite successful. So that whole evening, I was trying to explain to him how the blockchain is gonna, disrupt your logistic industry. I wasn't in the logistic before, but after telling him the whole evening, the night I drove home, that idea about MuleChain sort of got registered in my mind. I just couldn't get out of it. So let me explain to you what it is. Basically, what we're trying to do is to turn every single travelers around the world to be able to make money for themselves. That's only the start. We also created a way for people to temporarily store any item with anybody sitting at home. It doesn't have to be a business, a 7-Eleven or local gas station. It could be anybody sitting at home. So lo and behold, out of a sudden, we realize if we do it on the P2P, on the fully decentralized basis, we could really mobilize the whole world's population, That's when I sort of ditched that previous, fintech-oriented venture, because I saw the potential. It's not just the profit, revenue, or whatever for a commercial venture, but rather sort of like a mission to really provide value to the humankind. So since then, assemble a team, and then in the earlier days, of course, we were due to the FOMO, in the peak of 2017, early 2018,
Remember.
everybody's rushing for the ICO. So, but being an investment banker, I was a little bit cautious. We didn't want to just go ahead with the conventional ICO. And so we tried to do the regulated ICO. Still, that was an experiment. And because once you get regulated to consider your token consider a security, that's very difficult. You cannot do airdrop. You cannot take a $50, $100 Bitcoin holder to invest in your project. So put a long story short, and that's why we decided to cancel it. Then instead of telling story, trying to raise money without a product, without a business, we focus on reinvestment to building the platform and the app. Then after we have the product, we're going to launch the business. Then we'll come back to the market later on at a later stage. So after a full year, and I'm happy to report, we already get the beta version out. And in another month, that could be a fully working version. Then we're going to launch the business to have an official launch pretty soon, sometime in October, November. So that's about the MuleChain business.
Why did you choose the mule, not horse, not jackass, not other animal?
Excellent question. Well, to begin with, I was thinking about, once I had the idea of a P2P logistic to disrupt the industry, well, we wanted to build a generic platform in the app you could apply to, let's say, P2P. It's not just peer-to-peer, person-to-person, or C2C. You can use the same app and same platform for the B2B business. Because once you have the blockchain, and you can create the whole workflow, and it doesn't really matter your individual or your business running on the platform. So let's say if you're a business, you are a MuleChain operator. Again, the old days, and you have 5 mules in a line, and then, instead of just one mule as an individual. Nowadays, we call it mule pal, if you're one person team to run the business.
Yeah.
So the MuleChain operator could be a business. Now, to answer your question, why the mule? So during that time, I was thinking of, once we build the platform in the app, we can really provide it to, even the traditional air freight, or even, the marine shipping. So all the business as well. Now, do I call it a freight, app, or do I call it a courier app, or whatever, for a certain sector? That's too limiting. I wanted a generic name. So then I look into it. Then I found out, well, let's say a horse. So later on, then I found out about the mule. So the mule, comparing with a horse, the mule can carry up to 300, pounds on the back. But the horse can only, at most, get 150 pounds. So the mule is a very sturdy animal. Then we decided, well, this could be our namesake. Then since then, we're just trying to create a business in that motif,
And of course, mule is 4-letter word, and horse is 5-letter word, and jackass is 8 years old, 7 years old. So mule is a very short word. It's too convenient for marketing. Okay, very fascinating story. I'm very impressed. We're very excited to meet you live in Yerevan. By your opinion, you are the insider in the industry. You've been observing it recent years. So what are the main trends right now in 2019 in the blockchain industry?
Mm-hmm. Can I add in one more thing before I answer this question?
Of course.
Because throughout the period, my goal was just to relay our experiences, during the last 2 years trying to launch the blockchain business. So that's why along the way, and part of the reason why we canceled the previous ICO, trying to go through the conventional route to raise money from the investors and separate that from a token generation and for the users on the platform only, okay? So then along the way, I met a group and which actually produced an online app based on blockchain and cryptocurrency ready. That's TurboPay. That's what I'm gonna talk about as well. So the TurboPay is basically, and for any online community, you can create a community for your member. So that will be good for any corporation or a funded startup. So let's say if you are a grocery store, you are a pharmacy, you're a taxi company, bus operating company, or even a railroad, train operator. So you can create a community for all your members, number one. Number two, there's a social networking involved as well, just like a WeChat, just like, Facebook Messenger. Secondly, everybody will get a free digital wallet. Now, you can actually pay one another in cryptocurrency immediately. So then in certain country, you can link up either through bank or through telco to pay the fiat currency as well. So that's number two. Number three, and most importantly, on the same mobile platform, the members can sell goods and services to one another, just like Amazon, like eBay. Then the fourth area, we throw in some of the digital health. And the fifth, main function is basically online community news dissemination. So this is one app, is covered for all. When I first saw it, I say, wow, because we were trying to raise, a lot of money through the ICO just to develop a product like that. Then I run into this group, they have already developed within the last 3 years, with all the function that we wanted. Because let's say for MuleChain, if we want to create an app, you need all these functions in the back end. But this one can be provided on a white label basis to any other corporate. So that's why along the way, I figured out, well, this payment business is really fitting very well with any online business. In fact, if you're familiar with a current delivery business or even a payment business, these two are the probably most important field, in the online commerce, either mobile commerce or the traditional e-commerce. Because every single business transaction, you need to pay one another. Now, chances are, once you pay one another, then you need to have a delivery service. So this is a converging trend to partially answer your question. Everybody's trying to develop, quote unquote, a super app. You can look at WeChat, Alibaba, they're trying to get in, into a lot of other delivery business, logistic business. Then you look at the Grab and Gojek in Southeast Asia. They want to actually go into the WeChat Pay, which has a dominant position in China. Like Alibaba and WeChat, they own 93% of the mobile payment business in China. So Alibaba is actually going across the world. And for example, Paytm, the largest mobile payment company in India, Alibaba owns 40% of that. And then Kakao Pay, if they want to bring that QR code scanning, that capability to Japan, to Korea. And then, the Kakao Pay is also owned by Alibaba and SoftBank. So these are the, probably the most exciting trend that's going on in the blockchain consumer business model space. I will add one more to this. And, because of that, I was saying the sharing economy trend, that's probably the biggest opportunity in my mind.
I'm convinced you will be the most popular speaker at the Yerevan. I think that's really fascinating. Listen to you, it's brilliant. You're a great storyteller. That's my opinion. So, Ralph, finally, whom do you personally recommend to visit ChainPoint Conference 19 in Yerevan? What type of person would most benefit from attending ChainPoint Conference?
Well, to begin with, I'm sure there's a lot of people curious about blockchain. They probably heard of cryptocurrency. If somebody is more than just to trading the cryptocurrency to make a buck, day trading, you want to understand a little bit deeper about the technology behind it and all the potential application. As I said, blockchain technology can disrupt every single industry. So people want to get inspired. All those people should attend.
Sounds great. Truly, and totally agree with you. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't believe that blockchain will disrupt all the things you are now having in your world, please, and if you find it useful for your business, and if you have never been in Crypto Armenia, please attend the ChainPoint 19 Conference 2019 in Yerevan, Armenia, at October 14 and 15. See links below, and use your promo code Romanenko at CP19 for your 20% ticket discount, also written below. And by the way, we can also meet with you at the Human to IT Conference in October 5th in Minsk, Belarus, in City Conference October 10th and 11th in Kyiv, Ukraine, at Blockchain Live Europe Conference in October 16 and 17 in Moscow, Russia, and Georgia iGaming Affiliate Conference on October 18 at Georgia, Tbilisi, and of course at Satoshi Invest Summit at Georgia and celebrating 11th Bitcoin anniversary, white paper anniversary at October 14th, 30th, 41st. Please visit cryptomc.com, link below, and find your discount promo codes for that event. Please subscribe on my Facebook page and YouTube channel, and stay tuned for next speaker's interview. Mr. Ralph Liu, investment banker, venture investor, president, CEO of TurboChains, CEO and founder of MuleChain, and Vigen Arushanyan with you. Thank you for watching. See you in October 14, 15 in sunny Yerevan and crypto Armenia with Vigen Arushanyan. And stay tuned, stay crypto, stay blockchain. And thank you, Mr. Ralph Liu.
Thank you, Eugene. See you in Yerevan.